All right, this is Jim Carty with the Patch in southeastern Connecticut, and I'm here with Quinn Sullivan. How you doing, Quinn?
I'm doing well. How you doing, man?
It's been a long time since we've sat down and done a full interview, so it's a treat to finally catch up with you.
Yeah, you too, man. You too.
Yeah, but it's always a pleasure to see you and your folks, and especially your dad Terry. He is so astute at what he's done to steer your career. And I remember when I interviewed you at Life is Good years ago, he immediately knew who I was, and I was a radio personality. When he was like, Jim Carty, we're over here, like,
Nice, nice.
yeah,
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. He's been driving the boat for a long time, so it's
yeah,
very nice to have him. And I actually recently have signed with a manager over the last year or two, so
I heard
she's
that.
been very much of a help too. So it's been
That's
nice. Yeah.
good. That's good. But you can't trust anybody but your parents up until your age of majority, where you're at 22 now.
Right.
You know,
Totally. Yeah.
and you know, uh, the folks got you this far, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They're
Yep.
they're very supportive, super nice people, which I'm very glad for, because as an artist, you need that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it's very important to have uh, you know, parents or if you're not close to your parents, at least have a guardian of some sort that just directs you the right way. Because you can, this music industry, you can just get wrapped up with the wrong people. So I think it's important to always
Mhm.
be conscious of that and to just trust the people that are really in your corner. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Good, good. But you're doing well, and that's the important thing. Uh, you've
Yeah.
always had the right folks looking out for you. And as we were talking offline, your new record, Wide Awake's been out for a while. So why don't you tell me about the record?
Yeah. So yeah, the whole album was done in Los Angeles. And this guy by the name of Oliver Lieber produced the whole album and
Mhm.
co-wrote a lot of the songs with myself. And we did it. We started the record, I guess, in probably like mid 2018, and we started to write. And I didn't really know Oliver up until my one of my label heads at my record company set us up for a writing session. So I flew out to LA to meet with him, and immediately we just kind of hit it off musically and found ourselves liking the same kind of music. And he's also a lot older than me. He's almost 60 years old, so he's lived a lot of life. And
Mhm.
but yeah, we just connected very deeply musically, and he really from the start really understood where I wanted to take my career, take my music. I was always really known to be a blues guy
Yep.
and mentored by Buddy Guy for many years. And really is the reason why I'm here. But I didn't really want to stop there, and I didn't really want to. I didn't feel like I wanted to just put a lid on what I was doing musically. So I had a lot of conversations about that with Oliver, and told him kind of like, well, I want to keep the guitar bluesy and blues centric, but I want to make these songs more than that. So that's what we did. We wrote these songs. We wrote about 15 or 16 songs together, and obviously 12 made the album. And it was a really uh, formative experience for me to work with someone else on this one. And
Right. In the past, Tom Hambridge has really been your go-to guy.
oh yeah, no, and Tom,
Dynamite worked with everybody, including Buddy, Susan Tedeschi, a lot of the country acts down in Nashville.
he's
Uh,
incredible. No, he's
Incredible.
I
But
owe Tom so much for developing my sound. Really, I mean, developing and just showing me so much and teaching me so much. But yeah, it was time. I guess it was just time to change it up a bit and
it's
just
cool. I mean,
yeah,
actually, I'm curious to ask you about Oliver's background. So, you
yeah,
know, at 60 years old, and a lot of people compare the direction you're going in as kind of a more of a John Mayer. John came from a blues guitar background as well.
sure,
I don't know if you know Tomo Fujita at Berklee College of Music.
yeah, man. Tomo's one of my friends. I love
Yeah, I
Tomo. Yeah,
figured
yeah,
Tomo's a sweetheart who was, his guitar teacher at Berkeley, and Tomo's just amazing, and getting a lot of traction because of his relationship with John.
hmm
And but uh, John's gone in a more pop or AAA direction.
Sure.
And
Sure.
I think that a young man such as yourself, has a lot of more influences than the blues. His contemporaries are into more than the blues.
Hmm.
And you're not going to do a lot of units just doing straight blues. A blues successful record is 5,000 records.
Hmm.
10,000 is a super hit in the blues, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, uh, last night I was watching some documentary, and I remember the record executive said, "Oh, the sophomore record that my artist did only did 300,000 records for our label." He's like, "We're into platinum and maybe gold records." He's like, 300,000 doesn't do it, So I
Sure.
mean, you really gotta at least hit that AAA uh sort of vibe to start doing bigger numbers.
Yeah, and I've tried to not base my career off of numbers, but it's a part of the game. It is a game that you have to play.
You would
Uh,
like to live in a house of your own and have a nice
yes,
car, a
yes,
life someday, right?
yes, you need to yeah, you need to play the game. But
Right, right.
yeah, but for me, yeah. So anyways, so yeah, the record took a while because of that, because at the same time I was 18, 19 at the
Mm,
time, and I was trying to just, I don't know. I just went through a period of time where I was like, I don't know what I want to sound like now.
mm,
I've been this guy that's been this kid that's been, on this path for so long, and now I'm doing something a bit different. It's the same in a lot of ways, but I'd say different in the sense of just being more mature and just more me. What I wanted to do. So yeah, that took a minute to figure out. But I think with this new project, it just it made me feel really good, first of all, because you always want to be making music that you feel good about before you present it to people, because if you're just putting out stuff that you think people want to hear, it's really never going to be, to me, like what you want to be really saying with your music. So
right.
so yeah, I was conscious about that when I was putting this out. But yeah, I feel really good about all of these songs.
Stuff is radio ready, Quit. I mean, there's no question about it. It's very radio friendly, and but it's got
Thanks.
soul. A couple of the tunes have nice, funky parts to it.
Thanks.
And the material is very germane for someone your age. A lot about lost love, and
Yeah.
uh, you get some cute girls in some of the videos. Tell me about the girls in the videos. Did you get some numbers? Are you dating any of them? We can get into that.
It's so funny. No, there.
Yeah.
So the How Many Tears video was actually, it was directed by this guy, Trevor Banks, and we actually, he had known a really cool dancing company that
Mhm.
um, that this girl Matilda Sakamoto was a part of, and
Mm.
he had this idea for the video of almost like a girl dancing along to the video and making it uh, conceptual in that sense, where it was
Mhm.
like having somebody kind of dance to what I was singing about and emoting the song through dance. And she was so good and so cool. And it was really nice to work with her. She was a sweetheart and super super professional right off the bat.
Yeah.
And when the video finally came together and we were done filming it and he sent me the first cut, I was just blown away by how cool that was, because I hadn't really ever done anything like that before.
Right.
With another person, or a co-star in the video. So that was very cool. And then the other video I did was a video for my song "Real Thing,"
Mhm.
which is co-stars one of my really good friends, Serena Marks, who is sort of my next door neighbor. She lives like a couple streets over from me, and we've been friends since middle school.
That's
So it
great.
was, it was really nice to have her come do it. Really nice of her to do it. So that was a fun experience as well. So yeah, I like mixing it up, and I but we're so I mean social media now is so video oriented. It's so
Mhm.
the media now is so visually, people get so drawn to visual stuff. So it was nice to experiment with that a bit on this record. And yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
So let me ask you, and I watched an interview or two before this just to kind of get my sea legs, and you started alluding to the fact that the industry has changed a lot in the last 15 years, which of course it has. And we all know the streaming services pay so little. You
Yeah,
gotta have 100,000 streams of your tune to get like 4 cents. It's ridiculous. But people are making money as artists on YouTube and on other, social media. Is that part of your strategy to kind of beef that up and make that a revenue stream, or have you thought of that? Or is
sure. I mean, yeah, it's always in the back of my mind because that's the future of everything. I mean, just in the last year or two, I feel like TikTok has just taken over the
huge?
music business in a lot of ways, and
Yeah,
so yeah, I'm on the apps and I'm doing my thing and uh, doing it. I mean, but sometimes it kind of, in a way, it sort of uh, like kills my creativity sometimes if I'm on them too much. I
mhm,
notice like I'm not feeling too inspired when I'm just, making content for people. And it's part of the game, you have to do that to a certain level. But I try not to let it get in the way of like why I did it, why I picked up the guitar and like why I make music in the first place is,
sure, sure.
because I really genuinely love doing it and I love writing music and playing the guitar and singing and all that stuff. So um it's definitely a really nice way to connect and to obviously make new fans and have new people discover you. And
Mhm.
TikTok is so instant now where you can put now like a 30-second video of you playing like a popular song and like, you can get this traction and these people that, follow you would never have even discovered you if you didn't do that. So it's been interesting. It's been interesting to see kind of the evolution of it.
Yeah, good, good. And have you seen some younger people coming out to your shows because you're tackling new material and leveraging the social media?
A bit, very very slow, but yeah, I get surprised sometimes, and what's nice is a lot of the older people that do come out sometimes bring their kids, which I like a lot,
Yeah,
and to expose them to my music and just to expose them to live music in general. I mean, a lot of kids don't really get to experience a live show until they're in college or if they're out of high school, 18, 19. So it's been nice to see parents care enough to do that, and bring their kids out. So it's been nice to see. Mhm.
definitely. Speaking of live shows, so you're doing the tunes on the new record and they're kind of a different direction, but people know you as a blues artist. Are you keeping uh blues tunes, more straight blues stuff in the live show in the mix? Or what can folks expect when they come out to see you on this leg of the tour?
Yeah, we're ripping it up still. I mean, we're still doing a lot of blues centric covers, and
Mhm.
I mean, I say this all the time too. I mean, I always play the blues in my guitar playing. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't ever get away from that because that's my favorite form of guitar playing
Mhm.
is, I mean, I look up my heroes will always remain my heroes forever. I mean, that's Eric Clapton and Carlos Santana and um obviously BB King and Buddy Guy and those guys. And
Right.
so yeah, I mean, I definitely, yeah, I'm always doing that. And yeah, and even some of what I like about this new record so much is that even with the popular songs, I'm still playing guitar solos that are blues based,
Right.
like a song like She's Gone, for instance, has a solo in it that I made sure I was like, I still want to do like a sort of Stevie Ray Vaughan-y kind of thing on this, because I think
Right.
that would be cool. And I always think about like when he did that song Let's Dance or just Let's Dance with
I was
Bowie.
gonna say the Bowie stuff was just
Yeah.
amazing, and Stevie fell right in with Bowie, and
Hmm.
when you close your eyes and you listen to the solos that he did with Bowie, you're just like, that's magnificent stuff.
A match made in heaven,
Really
yeah.
was.
So I love that idea of like mixing the two together and because young people love pop music and older people love blues, and if you can mix those two together, I feel like you can really have something special. So that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I aspire to do, yeah.
Cool. Well, the reason I've got you on the line here today is because you're coming to a couple of the areas. I used to live in Boston and I'm in Connecticut now. So you're going to be at the warehouse in Fairfield, Connecticut, June 17th. That's a
Yeah.
Friday. And then Saturday, June 18th, you're going to be at the Music Room in West Yarmouth. And we were just talking about how, you know, John Ippolito, as I do, and Brian Sherpone, the guys who run that venue. And so you've already been to that venue, which is relatively new. You want to give your fans your impression of it if they haven't yet been out?
Oh, to the warehouse in Connecticut. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because I normally play the other venue at that room. There's two, I think
Right,
there's two venues,
right
right?
there, adjacent. There's a bigger room and a smaller room, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm playing, they've got me at the bigger room. We were supposed to play the smaller room actually. And then they last minute said that they had another show going on there that was booked. So they're
Mhm.
putting us in there, but I'm excited to get in there. I've taken, last time we were there, I took a peek inside that room that we're playing the warehouse this time, and it was great. It was really
Yeah.
cool. I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. I love, and I also love playing in Connecticut. We've done quite a bit of shows over the years in Connecticut, Norfolk and Hartford, and we played the Infinity Halls a
Yeah.
lot. And yeah, so this place, is also I think going to be a place that we definitely come back to quite a bit. So
Good.
looking forward to it.
And I was asking, the Music Room in West Yarmouth, you played there, but not under your bill yet, right? Or have you played? Because
Never been. No, this is my first time at the Music Room.
how
Yeah.
much now, have you sat in there? I think John was saying you might have sat in there or not.
No, I've
No?
never. No, I've
Okay.
never done it. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe he was talking about the brewery thing then.
Sure, maybe. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's cool. So, and I hear that one's a really intimate venue of 120 seats, and
Yeah.
that, Paul Nelson, who was with Johnny Winter, uh, helped to build out the sound system, and apparently it's an amazing sound system in that room.
I've heard it's very cool. Yeah, and Paul's a great guy. We actually met on one of those blues cruises
Yeah,
and got
he
to play
can play.
together.
He can play, man.
He's great. He's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, really nice guy too.
yeah,
So it was really nice to hear that he's a big part of that venue. Yeah.
yeah. I think the last time I saw you was at an Almonds tribute. I think Peter Levin pulled it together at the City Winery in New York.
Oh, with Scott Sherrard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
with Scott Sherrard. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was awesome. That was a
Yeah,
great Greg Allman thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing, man. That was a lot of fun to play with those guys. Yeah, that was heavy. Yeah.
There's a lot of good Allman tributes out there touring right now. That are legit with Andy Allendor, who was with Dickie Betts, and you know, uh, Butch Trucks Kids have one, and the one that Taz is in. Yeah,
It's the music is never going to die, that's for sure. Yeah.
absolutely. In fact, when Derek was younger, I asked him. I said, "Do you think that there'll be a time in your career when, the Allman Brothers cease to exist, but you're out there, kind of like the Duke Ellington Big Band or whatever, just continues to live on, and you'll be servicing that music?" He's like, "I don't know. I think we'll always have a part of it, but
Mm,
certainly there's no question that it's timeless stuff that will never die and is a
mhm.
part of the fabric of American music." And I recall you saying how much you enjoy the Almonds as well as Clapton and everything.
Huge Allman Brothers fan. Yeah. I mean, my first memories of listening to music was listening to their records and Live at the Fillmore East was a big one for me growing up. Um, as of many other people, I think as well. I mean, it's just such an iconic live album and really was very instrumental, as I was playing and as I was developing and learning about the guitar. That was a big one. Yeah.
Right, right. And I remember when we chatted last time, you had just fairly recently done the Howlin' for Hubert posthumous tribute to Hubert Sumlin with Eric Clapton, first time on stage with Clapton. I don't think we talked about much. Now, did you and Buddy get up on stage other than the finale with Clapton? I can't remember.
So yeah, so the time that I was on the same stage as Eric was at Crossroads.
You were on stage with Crossroads, but
Yeah,
it was just kind of you and Buddy doing your thing at the
yes, the Hubert Sumlin thing. Yeah, the Hubert Sumlin thing was at the Apollo.
Right.
And I remember that one. That was insane.
Yeah.
And I was funny story about that. I actually wasn't really supposed to be there. I
Right.
actually wasn't even supposed to be at. We got a call. I remember from I think it was Buddy's manager or something, and he was like, "This is a tight show. We're not going to be able to get you guys in this time around." And
Like, oh,
yeah, it was, we really wanted to go, but
sure.
ended up working out. He ended up scoring us some passes, and we got to go and hang, and it was, it was what you think it is. I mean, it's just rock and roll. I mean, Keith Richards was backstage, Clapton was backstage. Who else? I mean, so many people.
James Cotton was still alive. He was on the show.
Yeah,
I
James
remember.
Cotton,
Eric and Susan and Warren, I think, were
yeah,
all.
all of those guys.
Yeah.
And
Jordan, I think, was band leader.
Elvis Costello too, I think, was on it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of insane people. So yeah, I and Steve Jordan was he was band directing the whole show.
Right. He's amazing at that.
Yeah, I mean, the band was insane. It was like Jim Keltner, it was Willie Weeks, it was it was everybody. Yeah, it was amazing.
Who's who.
Yeah. And so so I wasn't really supposed to be there. I mean, I'm sure at the time Steve Jordan was like, who's this little 12-year-old kid that's gonna come up and, like, ruin this song. But yeah, I remember it was me and Buddy and Robert Randolph too, and played Going Down. And I remember plugging into Gary Clark Jr.'s amp, because I wasn't supposed to be playing, and he had his amp, and he was like, he was the new guy on the block, I think, at the time. So that was the one guy that they could approach and go, hey, can this little 12-year-old kid use your amp? And
low man on the totem pole there.
Right, they're not gonna go ask Eric Clapton, hey, do you mind if this little kid comes up and uses your amp? But it was amazing, man. Those are memories that stick in my head for my whole life. I mean, it's stuff that any 12-year-old could not even imagine doing at that time. So I mean, it's just it's mind blowing, to think about it. And I always tell people now, it's like, I don't think at the moment I was doing those things, I didn't really think too much about it, and I didn't think of how cool it really was until now. I'm like thinking about it now, going, that was amazing, and I'm super, super proud of those moments in my life.
And 10 years on, a lot of those blues cats are gone. Jody Williams and James Cotton, and it's great that you have this relationship.
BB King, yeah.
BB.
Yeah.
But it's great that you have your relationship with Buddy, and
sure.
I often tell friends that I started going to blues clubs when I was in college, right about your age, and maybe a little younger, thanks to a really good fake ID my sister sent me off to college with. But I got to hang with everybody, and just saw dynamite people, and it's a drag when they pass on, but I have those memories and friendships that we had, and it's just something you just never forget. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, those guys, I mean, they're just there's never, I don't think there will ever be a crop of those people again. Like there will never be those people again to come around to do it. So the goal is to just keep that alive in some way, and just make it your own. I mean, it's really, that's really what it's all about, because those guys were innovators, and now you have to come out with your sound and what you want it to, or what in your head, what your side of it is, what your take on it is,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's so great to see you come out with your own sound, and it is, and it's unique, and it's a great blend. And actually, speaking of that, I wanted to ask you, who are you carrying in the band? Because when we sat last, you had Tommy on the drums, you had Tom West on the keys, I recall. So who are you having in the touring band? And also, did you call anybody into the studio session or did Oliver bring together a studio group, or how did that go?
Well, yeah, I do have to mention about the album. Oliver called some of his very cool friends to come play on this. I mean, we have Abel Boreal Jr., who's Paul McCartney's drummer, that's on 5 songs. Wow. And Aaron Sterling also played on about 4 tracks, and he's currently touring with John Mayer. So it was a very big deal for me to have. Those are 2 of my favorite drummers ever. So it was an honor an absolute honor to have those guys on my album. I mean, it was insane to have two people that I look up to so much as musicians to be playing my songs. I mean, just I think it enhanced the music so much and just made it so much better than it already was. So
The
yeah.
production value on the record and the mixing's dynamite, by the way. Like I
Thanks,
just think it's fantastic.
oh my God, thanks. Yeah, I give a lot of credit to Joe Zook, who's mixing engineer out of, I think he lives in Calabasas, and he's just insane. Like he's his roster also of who, like the albums that he's done. He's done like some of like the One Republic stuff. He's done a lot of pop stuff, but he's like just a wizard. So yeah, he really took the songs to levels that I wasn't even thinking about. So it was a big deal.
Yeah, it's fab.
Yeah, and then the touring band, it's always changing, because right now with COVID still being a thing, I mean gigs are really still very slow to come, and so we're doing a lot of weekend warrior stuff where we'll go out for 4 days or so and play like 2 or 3 shows in a weekend, and then we'll have like a bunch of time off and then we'll do it again. That's kind of how it's been going the last 6 or 8 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the band is always changing. I know for the show in Connecticut, I'll be playing with this drummer who's incredible. It's actually going to be one of his first gigs with me. His name is Aaron Fig, and he's Anton Fig's son.
I was just going to say that name Fig sounds familiar.
Yeah. I'm very, very tight with Aaron, and I've gotten to meet Anton over the years, and so yeah, we've just been like always kept in touch. And I needed a drummer for those shows that I'm doing, so I hit him up, and he's going to be along for those couple shows. And this other guy that I've been playing a lot with, his name's Kyle Spark, great bass player. So he'll be playing. He's a local to me. He's in Fairhaven, Mass, which is about 15 minutes from me. So yeah, he'll be playing bass. And I believe who's playing keys. Oh, and this other guy who he's been a very I've written a lot with him, and we actually did a tour together recently with Beth Hart. And his name is Chris Bloniers, and he'll be playing keyboards and singing with me. So yeah.
Great. I'm glad you got a good sounding group of guys together, and I can't wait to see you soon. Is there anything else we want to let your fans know about before I cut you loose?
No, I mean, we'll be touring this summer. I mean, if anybody ever wants to know where I'm playing next, you can go visit quinnsullivanmusic.com/tour, and all of the tour dates are always there. And yeah, I'm just stoked to be doing this again and playing again. And I think what the pandemic really taught me was like not to take anything for granted, because like, I mean, it's like it so easily can be taken away at any given moment. So I feel very lucky that I'm still able to come out and do this and play. And in some ways, this kind of feels like the beginning of my career. So I'm just looking forward to playing this music for people and hopefully turning some more people on. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you all a successful new record, and I will see you in Fairfield at a minimum. I might even road trip down to West Yarmouth. And
all right.
Mom was coaxing me to do that. So
awesome.
We'll see you soon, Quinn, and give your my best to your family.
Will do, man. Thank you so much.
All right, Quinn. You take care, brother.
Take care, man. Bye-bye. Peace. Bye.